nothing of swing nor delight, save what is had, all must from you be took. Thus do I pine and surfeit day by day, all gluttoning on all away. Sentence 76. Why is my verse so barren of new pride, so far from variation or quick change? Why with the time do I not glance aside to new-found methods and to compound strange? Why write I still all one, ever the same, and keep invention yet noted weed, that every word does almost tell my name, showing like bells and the word did proceed. Oh no, sweet love, I always write of you, and love, and you and love are still my argument. So all my best is stressing all the words new, spending again what is already spent. For us the sun is daily new and old, so is my love still telling what is told. Sentence 77. Thy glass will surely how thy beauties wear, thy dial how thy precious meanings waste. The vacant leaves thy mind's imprint will bear, and of this book this learning mayst thou test. The wrinkles which thy glass will truly show, of mouth's graves will give thee memory. Thou by thy dial shady stills mayst know, time's lavish progress to eternity. Look, what thy memory cannot contain, commit to these waste blanks, and thou shalt find lost children nursed, delivered from thy brain, to take a new acquaintance of thy mind. These officers, so oft as thou wilt look, shall profit thee and much enrich thy book. Sentence 78. So oft when thou my music placed upon that blessed wood whose Sentence 78. So oft have I invoked thee for my muse, and found such fair assistance in my verse, as every alien pen has got my use, and under thee the poesy disperse, thine eyes that taught the dumb on high to sing, and heavy ignorance aloft to fly, have added feathers to the learner's wing, and given grace a double majesty. Yet be most proud of that which I compel, whose influence is thine and born of thee. In others' works thou dost but mend the style, and art with thy sweet graces graced be, but thou art all my art, and dost advance, as high as learning my rude ignorance. Sentence 79. Whilst I alone did call upon thy aid, my verse alone had all my gentle grace. But now my gracious numbers are decayed, and my sick muse does give another place. I grant, sweet love, thy lovely argument deserves the travail of a worthier pen, yet what of thee thy poet does invent he robs thee of, and pays it thee again. He denies thee virtue, and he stole that words from thy behavior. From thy behavior, beauty does he give, and found it in thy cheek. He can afford no praise to thee, but what in thee does live. Then thank him not for that which he doth say, since what he owes thee thou thyself dost pay. Sentence 80. Oh, how I faint when I of you do write, knowing a better spirit doth use your name, and in the praise thereof spends all his might, to make me tongue-tied speaking of your fame. But since your worth wide as the ocean is, the humblest, the proudest seal doth bear, my saucy bark inferior far to his. On your broad man doth wilfully appear, your shallowest help will hold me up afloat, whilst he upon your soundless deep doth ride. All being wrecked, I am a worthless boat, he of tall building and of goodly pride. Then if he thrive and I be cast away, the worst was this, my love was my decay. Sentence 81. Or I shall live your epitaph to make, or you survive when I in earth am rotten, from hence your memory death cannot take. Although in me each part will be forgotten, your name from hence immortal life shall have. Though I, once gone to all the world, must die, the earth can have but earth, which is his due. My spirit is the earth can yield me. The earth can yield me but a common grave, when you entombed in men's eyes shall lie. Your monument shall be my gentle verse, which eyes not yet created shall all read. Tongues to be your being shall rehearse. When all the breathers of this world are dead, you still shall live, such virtue has my pen, while breath most breathes, even in the mouths of men. Sentence 82. I grant thou wert not married to my muse. and therefore to your and therefore missed without attempt or look. The dedicated words which writers use of their first subject, blessing every book, thou artist very knowledge as in hue, finding thy words a limit past my praise. And therefore I came forth to seek anew some fresher stem of the time bettering days, and do so laugh, yet when they have devised what strange textures rhetoric can lead, not truly feel what truly sympathized, in true plain words by thy true telling friend, and their gross painting might be better used, where cheeks need blood, in thee it is abused. Sentence 83, I grant I never saw that you did painting need, and therefore to your fair not painting set. I found or thought I found you did exceed the barren tender of a poet's depth, and therefore I came forth, and therefore have I slept in your report, that you for love speak, that you yourself being extant, well might show how far modern quill does come to shore. Speaking of words, what words in you does grow, this silence for my sin you did impute, which shall be most my glory being dumb, for I impair not beauty being mute. When others would give life and bring a tomb, there lives more life in one of your fair eyes than both your poets can impress divides. Sentence 84. Who is it that says most, which can say more than this rich praise, that you alone are you, in whose confined mirror is the store, which should example where your equal grew, then penuring within that pen does the well, that who his subject lends not some small glory, but he that writes of you, if he can tell that you are you, so dignifies his story, let him but copy what in you is writ, making his style, not making words what nature made so clear, and such a counterpart shall fame his wit, making his style admired everywhere. You to your beauteous blessings added curse, being found on praise which makes your praises worse. Sentence 85. My tongue-tied muse in manners holds her still, while comments of your praise richly compiled reserve the character with golden quill, and the precious phrase by all the muses filed. I think good thoughts, whilst others write good words, and like the clock still cry Amen, to every hymn that able spiritual force, in polished form of well-refined pen. Hearing you praise, I say 'tis so, 'tis true, and to the most of praise added something more. But that is in my thought, whose love to you, no words can hide most, holds his rank before, than others for the breath of words respect. Me for my dumb thoughts, speaking in effect. Sentence 86. My tongue-tied Sentence 86. Was it the proud foresight of his great verse, bound for the price of all too precious you, that did my rapt thoughts in my brain in hers, making the tombed womb wherein they grew? Was it his spirit, by spirits taught to write above a mortal pitch, that struck me dead? No, neither he nor his compeers by night, giving him aid my verse astonished. He nor that affable familiar ghost which nightly goes with intelligence, Sentence 86. Was it the proud foresight of his great verse, bound for the price of all too precious you, that did my rapt thoughts in my brain in hers, making the tombed womb wherein they grew? Was it his spirit, by spirits taught to write above a mortal pitch, that struck me dead? No, neither he nor his compeers by night, giving him aid my verse astonished. He nor that affable familiar ghost which nightly goes him with intelligence, as victors of my silence cannot boast. I was not sick of any fear from thence, but when your countenance filled up his line, then like thy matter that enfeebled mine. Sentence 87. Farewell, thou art too dear for my possessing, and like enough thou know'st thy estimate. The chart of thy words gives thee releasing, my bonds in thee are all determinate. For how do I hold thee but by thy granting, and for that riches where is my deserving? The cause of this fair gift in me is wanting, and so my patent back again is worthy. So like great gift upon misprision, like self-lawgivers, like self-lawgivers, like on words that not knowing. Or me to whom lawgivers it, else must taking. So like great gift upon misprison growing, comes home again on better judgment making. Thus have I had thee as a dream does flatter. In sleep a king, but waking no such matter. Sentence 88. When thou shalt be disposed to set me light, and place my merit in the eye of scorn, upon thy side against myself I'll fight, and prove thee virtuous, though thou art forsworn. With my own weakness being best acquainted upon thy part, I can set down the story of faults concealed, wherein I am tempted that thou in losing me shalt win much glory, and I by this will be a gainer too, for bending all my loving thoughts on thee, the injuries that to myself I do, doing thee vantage, double vantage me, such is my love, to thee I so belong, that for thy right myself will bear all wrong. Sentence 89. Say that thou didst forsake me for some fault, and I will comment upon that offence. Speak of my lameness, and I straight will hold against thy reasons, making no defence. Thou canst not love disgrace me half so ill, to set a form upon desired change. As I myself disgrace, knowing thy will, I will acquaintance strangle and look strange, be absent from thy works, and in my tongue thy sweet beloved name no more shall dwell, lest I too much profane should do it wrong, and happily of our old acquaintance tell, for thee against myself I'll vow debate, for I must ne'er love him whom thou dost hate. Sentence 90. They hate me when thou wilt, if ever now, while the world is bent my deeds to cross. Join with the spite of fortune, make me bow, and do not drop in for an after loss. Ah, do not, when my heart has godless sorrow, come in the whirlwind of a conquered will. Give not a windy night a rainy morrow, to linger out a purposed overthrow. If thou wilt leave me, do not leave me last, when other petty griefs have done the spite. But in the onset come, so shall I taste, at first the very worst of fortune's might, and other strengths of woe which now seem woe, compared with of thee will not seem so. Sentence 91. Some glory in their birth, some in their skill, some in their wills, some in their body's force, some in their garments, no new-fangled ill, some in their hawks and hounds, some in their horse. And every humour has his abject pleasure, wherein it finds a joy above the rest. But these particulars are not my measure, all these I better in one general best. Thy love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, prouder than garments cost, of more delight than hawks or horses be, and having thee of all men's pride I boast. Richer than this alone that thou mayst take, all this way and me must wretched make. Sentence 92. Sentence 92. But do thy worst to steal thyself away, for turn of life thou art assured mine, and life no longer than thy love will stay, for each depends upon that love of thine. Then need I not to fear the worst of wrongs, when in the least of them my love has end. I see a better state to me belongs. To me belongs. Thy love is better than thy love. To me belongs than that which. Sentence 92. Sentence 92. But do thy worst to steal thyself away, for turn of life thou art assured mine, and life no longer than thy love will stay, for each depends upon that love of thine. Then need I not to fear the worst of wrongs, when in the least of them my love has end. I see a better state to me belongs, than that which on thy humour does depend. Thou canst not vex me with inconstant mind, since that my life on thy revolt does lie. Oh, what a happy title do I find, happy to have thy love, happy to die. But what so blessed fear that fears no blot? Thou mayst be false, and yet thou thou mayst be false. Yes, no. Yes, thou is no. And yes, thou knowest not. Sentence 92. But do thy worst to steal thyself away, for turn of life thou art assured mine, and life no longer than thy love will stay, for each depends upon that love of thine. Then need I not to fear the worst of wrongs, when in the least of them my love has ended. I see a better state to me belongs. Then that which on thy humour does depend, thou canst not vex me with inconstant mind, since that my life on thy revolt does lie. Oh, what a happy title do I find, happy to have thy love, happy to die. But what still blessed fear that fears no blot? Thou mayst be false, and yet I know it not. Sentence 93. But do thy worst, Sentence 93. So shall I live, supposing thou art true. Like a deceived husband, so love's face may still seem love to me, though altered anew. Thy looks with me, thy heart in other place. For there can live no hatred in thine eye. Therefore, in that I cannot know thy change. In many the looks, the false has history, is rich in moons and frowns and wrinkles strange. But heaven in thy creation did decree that in thy face sweet love should ever dwell. Whatever thy thoughts or thy heart's working be, thy looks should nothing lends but sweetness tell. How like Eve's apple does thy beauty grow, if thy sweet virtue answer not thy show. Sentence 94. They that have power to hurt and well do known, that do not do the thing they most do show, who moving others are themselves in stone, unmoved cold to temptations low. They rightly do inherit heaven's graces, and husband nature's riches from expense. They are the laws and owners of their faces, others but stewards of their excellence. The summer's flower is to the summer's wheat. Though to itself it only live and die, but if that flower with best infection meet, the bestest weed outbreathes his dignity, for sweetest things tend sorrows by their deeds. Ladies that fester smell far worse than weeds. Sentence 95. How sweet and lovely dost thou make the shame, which like a canker in the fragrant rose dost spot the beauty of thy budding name. Oh, in what sweets dost thou thy sins enclose, that tongue that tells the story of thy days, making the severest comment on thy sport, cannot dispraise but in a kind of praise, naming thy name blesses in your report. Oh, what a mention of those vices got, which for the habitation throws out thee, the bestest joy, where beauty's veil does cover every blot, and all things tend to fair that eyes can see. Take heed, dear heart, of this large privilege. The hardest knife ill-used does lose his edge. Sentence 96. Some say life for his use, some wantonness, some say like grace is use, and a gentle sport. Both grace and faults are love of more and less. Thou makest faults graces that to thee resort. As on the finger of a throned queen, the bestest jewel will be well esteemed. So are those errors that in thee are seen, to truth translated and for true things deemed. How many lambs might the stem wolf betray, if like a lamb he could his looks translate? How many gazers mightest thou lead away, if thou wouldst use the strength of all thy state? But do not so. I love thee in such sort, as thou being mine is thy good report. Sentence 97. How like a winter has my absence been from thee, the pleasure of the fleeting year. What freezings have I felt, what dark days seen, what all December's bareness everywhere, and yet this time removed were summer's time, the teeming autumn big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burden of the pride, like widowed wombs of the Lord's disease. Yet this abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and the fathered fruit. For summer and his pleasures wait on thee, and thou away the very birds are mute, or if they sing, 'tis with so dull a cheer that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near. Sentence 98. From you have I been absent in the spring, when proud-pied April, dressed in all his trim, has put a spirit of youth in everything, that heavy Satan laughed and lived with him. yet nor the lace of bird nor the sweet smells of different flowers in odor and in hue could make me any summer story tell, or from the plow-lap pluck them where they grew. Nor did I wonder at the lilies white, nor press the deep vermilion in their rose. They were but sweet, but figures of delight, drawn after you, pattern of all those, yet seemed it winter still, and you away, as with your shadow I wisely did play. Sentence 99. The forward violent thus did I chide, sweet leaf. Whence didst thou steal thy sweet that smells, if not from a love's breath, the purple pride, which on thy soft cheek for complexion dwells? In my love's veins thou hast too grossly dyed. The lily I condemned for thy hand, and the buds of marjoram has stolen thy hair. The roses fearfully on thorns did stand, one blushing shame, another white despair. A third, nor red nor white, had stolen of both, and to his robbery had annexed thy breath. But for his theft, in pride of all his growth, I vanaged for canker, each him up to death. More flowers I noted, yet I none could see, but sweet all color each had stolen from thee. Sentence 100. Where art thou, muse, that thou forgettest so long to speak of that which gives thee all thy might? Spendest thou thy fury on some worthless song, darkening thy pearl to lend subjects light, return forgetful. Sentence 100. Where art thou, muse, that thou forgettest so long to speak of thee to be. Sentence 100. Where art thou, muse, that thou forgettest so long to speak of that which gives thee all thy might? Spendest thou thy fury on some worthless song, darkening thy power to lend subjects light, return forgetful muse. Subjects light, return forget. Sentence 100. Where art thou, muse, that thou forgettest so long to speak of thee to be remembered? The words of that. Sentence 100. Where art thou, muse, that thou forgettest so long to speak of that which gives thee all thy might? Spendest thou thy fury on some worthless song, darkening thy power to lend subjects to bad subjects. Sentence 100. Where art thou, muse, that thou forgettest so long to speak gives thee all thy might? Spendest thou thy fury on some worthless. Sentence 100. Where art thou, muse, that thou forgettest so long to speak of that which gives thee all thy might? Spendest thou thy fury on some worthless song, darkening thy power to let subjects light, return forgetful muse. Stretch redeem in gentle numbers 10, so idly spent. Sing to the ear that does thy less esteem. Gives thy pen both skill and argument. Rise, thee, muse, my love's sweet face away. If time have any wrinkle graven there, if any be a satire to decay, and make time dispelled everywhere, give my love fame faster than time wastes life, so thou preventest his sighs and quicker the knife. Sentence 101. O truant muse, what shall be thy menace? For thy neglect of truth in beauty died, both truth and beauty on my love depends. So dost thou too therein dignified. Make answer, muse, wilt thou not happily say, truth needs no color, with his color fixed. Beauty no pencil, beauty's truth to lay, but best is best if never intermixed. Because he needs no press, wilt thou be dumb, excuse nor silence so for lies in thee, to make him much outlive a gilded tomb, and to be praised of ages yet to be. Then do thy office, muse, I teach thee how to make him sing long hence as he shows now. Sentence 102. My love is strengthened. Sentence 102. My love is strengthened, no more weak in seeming. I love not less. Now less the shall appear that love is merchandise of whose richer steaming. The honest tongue thus published everywhere. Our love was newer than but in the spring, when I was wont to greet it as my lass. As Philomel in summer's ferns doth sing, stops her pipe in growth of riper days. Not that the summer is less pleasant now than when her mouth for him still hushed the night, but that while the music buzzes every bound, my squeeze grown common loose the dear delight. Therefore, like her, I sometimes hold my tongue, because I would not dull you with my song. Sonnet 103. Alack, what poverty my muse brings forth, that having such a scope to show her pride, the argument all bear is of more worth than which has my added praise beside. Oh, blame me not if I no more can write. Look in your glass, and there appears a face that overgoes my blunt invention quite. Darling my lies and doing me disgrace. Were it not sinful then striving to mend, to mar the subject that before was well, for to no other path my verses tend, than of your graces and your gifts to tell, and more, much more, than in my verse can set your own glass shows you, when you look in it. Sentence 104. To me, fair friend, you never can be old, for as you were when first your eye I eyed, such seems your beauty still, through winter's cold, how from the forest shook 3 summers' pride. 3 beauteous springs to yellow autumn turned, in process of the seasons have I seen. 3 April perfumes in 3 hot Junes burned, since first I saw you fresh, which yet are green. Ah, yet does beauty like a dial hand, still from his figure and no pace perceive. So your sweet hue, which methinks still does stand, hath motion, and mine eye may be deceived. For fear of which, hear this, thou age unbred, you were born, were beauty summer dead. Sonnet 105. Let not my love be called adultery, nor my beloved an idle show, since all like my songs and praises be to one of one, still such and ever so. Kind is my love today, tomorrow kind, still constant and wondrous excellence. Therefore my verse to constancy confined, one thing expressing leaves out difference. Fair, kind, and true is all my argument. Fair, kind, and true varying to other words, and in this change is in my invention spent. 3 seems in one, which wondrous scope affords. Fair, kind, and true have often lived alone, which 3 till now never kept sitting one. Sonnet 106. Sonnet 106. When in the chronicle of wasted time I see descriptions of the fairest wights and beauty making beautiful all the rhyme, in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights, lay in the blazon of sweet beauty's best, of hand, of foot, of lip, of eye, of brow, I see the antique pen would have expressed, even such a beauty as you master now. So all the praises are but prophecies of this our time, all you prefiguring, and they looked but with divining eyes. They had not skill enough your words to see, for we which now behold these present days, had eyes to wonder but lack tongues to praise. Sonnet 107. Not my own fears, nor the prophetic soul of the wide world dreaming on things to come, can yet the list of my true love control, suppose us forfeit to a confined doom. The mortal moon has her eclipse endured, and sad augurs mock their own passage. In certainties no crown themselves ensured, peace proclaims olives of endless age. Now with the drops of this most balmy time, my love looks fresh, and death to me subscribes. Since spite of him I'll live in this poor rhyme, while he insults ordeal and speechless stripes. And thou in this shalt find thy monument, when tyrants' crests and tombs of brass are spent. Sonnet 108. What's in the brain that ink my character, which has not figured to thee my true spirit? What new to speak, what new to register, that may express my love or thy dear merit? Nothing, sweet boy, but yet like prayers divine, I must each day say all the very same, counting no old thing old, thou mine, I thine, even as to when first I hallowed thy fair name, so like eternal love in love's fresh case, whence not the dust and injury of age, nor gives to necessary wrinkles place, but makes antiquity for aye his page. Finding the first conceit of love the bread, where time and outward form would show it dead. Sonnet 109. Oh, never say that I was false of heart, No absence seemed my friend to qualify. As easy might I from myself as from my part, which in thy breast doth live. Sonnet 109. Oh, never said that I was false of heart. No absence seemed my friend to qualify. As easy might I from myself, as from my part, which in thy breast doth live. As from my soul. Sonnet 109. Oh, never say that I was false of heart. No absence seemed my friend to qualify. As easy might I